Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network as your 3-5 Roncalli Royals welcome in the top-ranked team in Class 4A, the East Central Trojans. Hi again, everybody. Alongside Aaron Hummel making his season debut on RMN football side of things. I'm Jimmy Cook. Thanks so much for spending part of your Friday night with us. And as we dive into tonight's matchup, Aaron, the Royals trying to avoid, at least from our data points, becoming the first school in program history in terms of consecutive shutouts to suffer that fate once again. We saw it in back-to-back weeks against Louisville Male, against Cathedral, but when you go back and look at the tape and why there's reason for optimism tonight, from an effort and execution standpoint, even though the offense from on the scoreboard wasn't there, there was a leap forward for the Royals compared to where things were against Louisville Male to what happened last week against Cathedral.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I think you get hype for a rival opponent, for one. I think that's a big thing. But then also, as you alluded to, it's just that extra effort. I mean, no, it didn't show up on the scoreboard, but it means something.
And for some of these younger players on this team, I'd argue it's a fantastic draw. Is that how you saw it for your group on Selection Sunday?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good draw. Me personally, I can't wait to play Brebeuf again. I was even hoping for it to be week 1, which
Sure.
I'm all in for. But yeah, I think it's, if you talk about, I know everyone talks about seeding the playoffs. I think our sectional draw is probably as closely seeded as possible, if you ask me. So, yeah, I'm happy with the draw, getting an opportunity to play Brebeuf again in the sectional championship. Couldn't play out any other better way. Again, we got to beat Shortridge, and we got to beat the winner of Mooresville, and I can't even recall off the top of my head who they'll play in the first round. But yeah, we got a great opportunity to play good football teams. But I don't think anyone in our sectional, and even in our regional, that is, or even, in the state of Indiana, that's had a tougher schedule than us. So we'll be ready. Our guys are going to fight, and again, our expectation is to win a state title. So we're working. I can promise everybody that we're working to complete that. So again, just proud of our guys, proud of everything they're overcoming, and can't wait to have that quote unquote second season.
Mooresville, Indianapolis, Washington is the second game, but Coach, in your defense, I cheated. I was able to, I have a computer in front of me, so I was able to find out the Mooresville matchup. But yeah, so Mooresville and Washington is the potential opponent that you guys would face after the Shortridge game. As we look towards tonight's regular season finale against East Central, Coach, you've been adamant about this throughout, but because of how well connected you are around the state, there's a lot of mutual respect around different programs, and East Central, no doubt, has carried over everything from a year ago into one of the most potent teams in the state. As you look at their 8-0 start, as you look at what they've been able to do in their last 5 games, 5 shutouts pitched, what stands out to you the most about this particular group of Trojans?
Yeah, you said it right at the beginning. They pretty much have a lot of their guys back from last year that are called over a PA system, right? So their quarterback's back, their running back's back, their receiver / wing back is back. So they got all their skilled guys there. They, whatever they lost O-line, D-line wise, they got a good tough group. Watching them on film, they play hard. Football's important to them. So they're going to give us, their best approach to the game, and again, they're a good football team. They are a good football team. They do everything that they have to do to win. They beat a good Cincinnati Moeller team. They beat a good Lawrenceburg team. And again, and I don't mean to disrespect anybody, because that's just the way it is. But their schedule is just different, and nothing. That's their conference, and nothing that they can change, or nothing that they can do different. They're just not. The caliber of teams they play each week aren't the teams that we see every week. Right. So I would give ourselves an advantage of we've seen the speed, we've seen the physicality, we've seen the coaching. We've seen all that, so that's definitely an upper hand for our guys coming into this game. And again, not wavering. East Central's got a good football team, but I can't wait to see our guys compete tonight. We had a great week of practice. Being on fall break, sometimes you worry about the mental state of our guys, but the juice at practice has been awesome. Our kids' attention to detail has been great. So, again, I'm just thankful for another opportunity to coach these young men.
Coach, last thing for you. What's the messaging been to the group this week, knowing that they have come out of this gauntlet? I guess one task still left, but they've come out of this gauntlet and they've survived it. They've made it through the other side. They've become a better group in terms of not just their overall toughness, but just what you want to see out of them. What is the messaging with this last hurdle of the regular season present, knowing that the fresh start, the second season, is right around the corner?
It sounds cliche, and you hear it probably every time you turn on Twitter, but it holds true, because those guys are good coaches as well that you see all over Twitter, and Saturday coaches and all that good stuff. But just trust the process. Enjoy the process, enjoy the preparation, especially hitting home to our seniors is that, this Coach Cubby gave a great talk last night about this is kind of their first of their many, what's the right word? This is kind of the first of their many finals. Like this, for most of them, this is it. This is the thing that you can't go back and do. So enjoy these last couple weeks that we have together. Hopefully the next month and a half that we have, enjoy the process, enjoy the tough practice, enjoy the weight room sessions, enjoy the early mornings, because it truly is in these football players and these young man's lives. This is kind of the first of the many.
Good to go.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. We're about ready to get things underway. A frenetic pace set up for the pregame festivities. We'll get into a little bit of that as the broadcast unfolds. So I'm not going to apologize for a game starting because that's half the reason we're here is to be able to see Roncalli and East Central. But we'll get into Aaron's keys to the game in just a little bit. But for those of you that are still maybe at the kitchen counter with the popcorn popping, you might want to get back to your seats because we're about to get things underway about 2 minutes earlier than advertised. Royals will take it, though. They lost the toss, but they do get ball first. East Central will get it to start the second half. It's a squib kick. Takes a bounce to the 10-yard line. We'll get a return all the way to the 15, now to the 20. And that's where the Roncalli offense will set up shop first as we await Colin Ash trotting out to the field. Aaron, a brief look at some of your keys to tonight's contest.
This will be some easy ones. I think we started early due to the weather. We weren't. Ben Davis started at 5:30, but a couple minutes early, and that's no big deal. So obviously, weather's going to take a factor a little bit later, about 20 minutes away from rain right now. Also, you can't go down early. Go down, take the ball, you're on offense, get the score, and go from there. That's my key. If we can do that, that's going to build a lot of confidence.
Ash trots out onto the field, 87 for 159, 6 touchdowns to 3 picks. Ben Brandenburg back as a lead tailback. He's been in and out of the lineup in terms of just a rotational standpoint every week. Expect him to get lead back carries tonight on this 1st and 10 from the 20. Step back, 2-step drop floater downfield. Overthrew the intended receiver to Ash. That was looking for Dominic Morelli. It'll bring up 2nd down. Another note in terms of the Roncalli offense, no Christian Sweezy tonight. Can grade him as week to week, so they'll operate from an offensive standpoint without Sweezy. That means a likely snap uptick for James Guthrie, who got some playing time a week ago. He's out there at the top of your screen.
It's nice to see Roncalli take a shot early. Obviously, that's going to build confidence had he caught that.
2nd and 10 from their own 20. Ash, 2-step drop, looking, pressure coming, fires a screen, and Elsner dropped it. He thought about running before he made the reception. It was thrown towards the right side of the field at the 20. Hit him in the numbers. It'll be 3rd down.
I was going to say, he saw that grass in front of him, made the turn right before he even took the ball. You got to watch the ball all the way into your hands.
Yep, that's always the biggest piece of advice I remember as a kid when you're just playing catch in the backyard is you can't run with it until you have the you have a grasp of the football. That time Elsner tried to do too much, and it'll bring up 3rd and 10. From Roncalli's zone 20, quad formation to the left, 1 to the right. Ash looking, fires a screen, caught by Brandenburg at the 18, out of the 20, to the 25, cuts up field, and he'll be short of the first down yardage by about 2 yards, down at the 28, and it'll be a quick 3 and out for the Royals.
Quick 3 and out. Of course, Elsner out there had some good blocks, got him an extra couple yards, but that was never going to go for 10 just from the set.
Yeah, it was tough. You're really relying on Ben Brandenburg getting his momentum going upfield, and if you can get that full head of steam right out of the gate without him having to do any inside-out moves like he did there, maybe you get it. But in that particular instance, it winds up being short. Levi Whistler will be on, set to punt for the Royals. The 34th punt of the season for Levi Whistler. And that is pressure brought. It's a Skywinder that's going to take a bounce at the Roncalli 45, and it will get a Bob Tully Field roll down at the 48-yard line of East Central. But that is where this potent East Central offense will get their first taste against Roncalli. Cole Burton, their quarterback, 47 for 68, 11 touchdowns to his name. No interceptions on the year. And Josh Ringer, their tailback, already just under 1,600 yards on the season.
Yeah, and just to go back to that punt for a second, I believe it was tipped. I don't.
Okay.
It was it was a sidewinder, but I believe it got tipped.
2 wide receivers to the right, none to the left. It's a handoff to Ringer. Right side, he's got blockers, but he stumbled on the turf and only gets a yard. 2nd and 9.
Again, I talked about confidence in the pregame. This is also a confidence builder here on defense. Can you get a stop? And if so, does that say, hey, wait a minute, we can stop people from scoring?
Yeah, from where Roncalli has been, and particularly last week, we talked about the effort. There were times where they forced 3 and outs and they turned Cathedral away. You'd love momentum change here on 2nd and 8. It's a pitch to the left side that's taken to the 50, cuts one man out to the 45. On the carry that time was Maxwell.
Tackle was by Kessler.
They label Ringer and Mingus as their two running backs on the 2 deep, but they will, however, go deeper than that with their offensive attack, as you notice with Maxwell there, who's still out there, along with Ryan Brotherton, a wide receiver. Under center is Burton. 3rd and 2. Give up the middle. Is going to be close depending on where they mark that spot. And one official has it short. The other one had it there for a first down. The official that had it short acquiesced, and it's a first down.
Yeah, that was very close. Could have gone either way, depending on which side of the field you're on. But first down either way. I was going to say, they use a lot of running backs just because they get their slot involved a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of jet sweep action.
Yep. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on this 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 42. 9:30 to play in this opening quarter. First drive for East Central. We're scoreless. Burton in the gun, 2-step drop, fires a slant. It's caught at the 30, and that's where the tackle is made for another first down. It's caught by Ryan Brotherton, the leading touchdown catcher on this East Central roster. First down.
Statisticians will keep that as 11 yards, so just enough to get that first down. Roncalli's got to look at that secondary and say, hey, we got to tighten up.
Be 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 31 as East Central starts to trot down the field. Again, the great field position established by that partially deflected punt from Levi Whistler. Screen pass, right side. It's a bubble screen. Royals fight through it, but they stumbled and fall. It's taken out to the 25-yard line. Roncalli had an opportunity to try to make that tackle. I believe it was A.J. Richardson on that side of the field, but he got caught up underneath his own momentum, and it leads to a 6-yard gain. Correction, Sam Rader there in coverage. So it'll be 2nd and 4, the Roncalli 25-yard line.
They called that play specifically by the way we lined up. They definitely had a signal there right before.
2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Burton in the gun. The tailback is Mingus. 3-step drop. Burton looking left the whole way. Fires. Has a man downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Trojans. Ryan Brotherton in the double-digit touchdowns on the season. He now has 10, and the Trojans draw first blood. It's 6-0 with 8:21 to play in this opening quarter.
Right there, Brotherton's just bigger. That's what that all was. I mean, when he jumps up in the air, he's at least 2 feet taller than our defender. We're not going to be able to defend that. Got to stay in front of him.
Yep. Once you let him in behind, and Burton was tracking that the whole way, his 12th touchdown pass of the season, you're in trouble. Point after try. Upcoming for Nathan McPhee. Good snap, good hold. Kick is good. 8:21 to play in this first quarter. The Trojans strike first, 7-0. Royals look to answer when we come back on the Roncalli Media Network.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field on the campus of Roncalli High School. 6 plays, 52 yards, 2 minutes and 33 seconds, capped off by a 25-yard touchdown pass from Burton to Brotherton. That's how East Central operated with their first offensive possession. Royals started the game with the football. Were forced to a quick 3-and-out. Aaron, they'll look for a bounce-back drive this time when they're able to receive this kickoff.
Absolutely, and I look forward to that because that defense, if you take out that first play of their drive, they got 0 yards on that play. That means they're averaging over 10 yards a play. We just can't allow that many yards.
McPhee set to boot it away. Shutley was there, and it'll be taken instead by Rader at the 5-yard line, out to the 10 to the 15, and he's finally brought down at the 20. And correction, that was Dominic Morelli on the return. So about the same field position the Royals had to start this game, and an extended meeting on the sideline as they huddle up and get ready for this second drive. Number of pass opportunities was the name of the game that first drive.
Absolutely. And the thing of it was that you only completed one of them.
Yep. Part of the reason, obviously, why it led to the 3-and-out. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ben Brandenburg, the tailback to the left hip. His first carry, handoff. He'll go misdirection to the right side, but it goes nowhere. maybe a gain of 1 depending on the spot. It'll be second down.
Looked to be an audible before the play. I think it was going to go to the other side, the far side of the field. They audible to come near side. No joy there, though.
Ash will look to the sideline. 7:57 to play in this first quarter. East Central leads things 7-0. 2 wide receivers to the left. Guthrie is one of them. 1 to the right. Elsner in motion. Ben Brandenburg, the tailback. On the right hash. Ash takes the snap. Play action. Rolls left. Looks for Elsner. It's covered up. He'll launch. Downfield. Intercepted. Intercepted on the right sideline. Guthrie was in the area, but that was not the intended receiver. The intended receiver was Rudy Shutley. It was a jump ball. East Central's there to make the INT. Carson Pazanka with the interception. And more great field position for East Central. With 7:36 to play in this first quarter, they'll try to add to their lead.
Pazanka read that the entire way. You've got to look at that and say, wow. I mean, how you throw it across, basically right to him. So definitely good field position here for East Central.
2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. 2 running backs on either side of Burton. Now he sends a man in motion. Takes the snap, looking left the whole way. It's a wheel route downfield to Brotherton. He caught it. Touchdown, Trojans.
I would say that Brotherton caught that in stride, but he actually slowed down to catch the ball.
He did take his foot off the gas just a tad. It was a wheel route as they sent him in motion to the left side of the field, right in the breadbasket of Brotherton. And in the blink of an eye, it's 13-0 East Central with 7:29 to play in this first quarter.
Brotherton already over 100 yards, according to a statistician. So that's wild to be. What time we got left? 7:29 left in the first.
We are 9 minutes into when this game was supposed to start, and Brotherton already is north of 100 yards. McPhee on for the point after try. Good snap, good hold, and the PAT is good. 7:29 to play in the opening frame. 14-0 East Central. Back in a moment on the Roncalli Media Network.
I'd like to wish good luck to our boys and girls.
Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
One play, 37 yards, 7 seconds, the time of possession. A 37-yard touchdown pass from Burton to Brotherton. With Aaron Hummel, I'm Jimmy Cook. 7:29 to play opening quarter, 14-0. East Central leads it. Look, it's early, Aaron, but early returns. This was election night. That's how you would present it. Early returns, this is the number 1 team in the state in your building.
I mean, they look it right now.
Yep.
They look it.
Yep.
And I don't care what their schedule is. We talked about that in the pregame. I mean, they're looking great out there right now.
They are clicking on all cylinders. Routes are being run in perfection, and we had mentioned it that's a different look for the Elsner rollout as we await the kickoff, or the Ash rollout, rather, as he sometimes goes to Elsner. He tried to force the issue to Shutley. That was just a great read defensively by Pazanka, able to be turned into one play touchdown for the Trojans. Kick is fielded by Shutley. He's going to bounce it outside and has some blockers in front of him to the 25, nearly to the 30. They'll call it the 29-yard line, and that's where we'll see the Roncalli offense for the 3rd time tonight. It runs as follows: punt, interception, and what can you do for me here on drive number 3? Already a big hole, but again, with where this game is at, and this is just, I guess, a glass-half-full approach at it, but with how early it is, you put together a scoring drive here, and you stabilize things a bit. But imperative to get some points on the board now.
And if you're going to stick with the pass, you might as well do it now before the rain starts here in a few minutes.
Ben Brandenburg is the tailback. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He sends a man in motion. That's Pendergast. 1st and 10 from the 29. Handoff. Brandenburg full of steam. He's caught in the backfield. And I'll tell you something, and it speaks to where the development is of the Roncalli offensive line, which, again, very young group. Lost a ton last year. 2 Division I athletes lost to graduation. There's an East Central team that returned basically everybody, especially key position players. Early on, at least in terms of the running game, they are winning that battle in the trenches, as you would expect upperclassmen versus a developing offensive line to have.
Absolutely, and they split this game last year with Roncalli winning one, and of course they won in the playoffs.
2nd and 10 from the 29. High snap. Give. Brandenburg tries to bounce outside. They had contain on the edge, and it's going nowhere. A couple spin moves by Brandenburg. He did his best, but he limited the damage to a loss of 1. It's 3rd and 11.
I think Roncalli is going to have to look at that offense and say, if we're going to run the ball, we've got to use some misdirection because those linebackers are keying on our guards right now, and they are flying to the football.
The rain has arrived in buckets. Steady downpour currently at Bob Tully Field.
It's a balmy 74 here.
It is. That temperature, I think, is going to plummet here in a little bit. I will say, at least from a visual standpoint, it's not a sideways rain. It is pretty much straight down, but it's going to be consistent and brutal here for the next hour. 3rd and 11 from the 28. 2-step drop. Ash throws to Elsner. He is lit up at the initial first down marker. Another 3 and out for the Royals, and Levi Whistler in the punting unit will trot out to the field.
The offense just looks anemic right now. You got 3rd and 11, and basically we throw it to the check down. It's 1 yard. I mean, unless he's going to really take off, not a high-level success there.
You got to give your offense a chance to go pick up the sticks, and a crossing route right in front of the initial first down marker, again, is not necessarily where you want that progression to result.
And I don't. Obviously, that was probably a check down route. I didn't mean it that was the primary, but that's not going to get you where you want to go. So far, I mean, just anemic on offense.
Levi Whistler set to punt it away. This is the first time this season the Royals have played in the rain, for what that's worth. But again, the rain only just started. East Central already had built a 14-0 lead. Whistler lost it, able to get it back, tried to pick it up and run, and he is swallowed up. You hope he's okay, and he is. They're going to help him to his feet. But I brought up the rain aspect of it because there's not a ton of experience in the special teams game dealing with these conditions. It was on display right there as Whistler loses the snap, able to gather it and try to run, and it just kind of bent back right at the 20. So East Central knocking on the door to a 3-score advantage as they stand 1st and 10 at the Roncalli 20 with 5:21 to play in this first quarter. They lead 14-0. Under center operates Burton, 2 running backs in the backfield. Handoff over that side, trying to find the edge is Ringer and nothing doing. The Royals snuff it out for a loss of 4, maybe 5. Great defensive push there by the Royals.
Anything, any port in a storm, right?
Yeah.
Anything that's good on the field is going to give some confidence to your team. They needed that right there. 5-yard loss is a great way to start a comeback.
Burton looks to the sidelines. Ringer's still out there with him, as is Brotherton. They'll likely be side by side with him. We've seen that formation a couple of times tonight. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And again, Burton and Ringer on either side. Ringer and Brotherton on either side of Burton. Brotherton, again, a designated wide receiver. And might get a false start here. Brotherton took off in motion, but I think they had another wide receiver moving as well. You have to have everybody set. Can only have 1 player moving at a time. So that'll be the penalty. It'll be a false start against East Central. So the Royals, again, like you mentioned, Aaron, they'll take, it's a great way to put it, any port in the storm they can find to try to stop this onslaught. They'll welcome it, and a great opportunity here is at 2nd and 19. Still deep in Roncalli territory, though, at the Roncalli 29. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Burton in the gun. He'll hand off up the middle. Ringer, full head of steam, bounces outside, and now he's got space to the 20, out to the 18-yard line before he's finally brought down. It'll negate all of the penalty yardage as well as the loss of 5 on the play, plus 3, sets up 3rd and about 7. Make it 2nd and 7, I beg your pardon.
I'm not a math major, but that was a lot of yards.
Yep, it was 3rd and 7, by the way. I'm clearly also not a math major as I'm trying to figure out when they're going to turn the down a dial over there. They finally do, so it's 3rd and 8. 1 wide receiver to the right, 1 to the left. The tailback is Ringer. Burton in the gun. Sends a man in motion. Takes the snap. Delayed handoff. Ringer, he's going to walk into the end zone. 10-5, touchdown Trojans. It was a misdirection handoff. He bounced out to the left, and pay dirt awaited him. 20-0 East Central.
Nifty play right there because you're faking everything out to the right, rolling to the right, and then just dropping it off to that fullback there. And that's just textbook misdirection. And Roncalli's got to find something, anything to hold on to right now.
McPhee on for the point after. Good snap. Oh, and it's a lost snap. Correction, a lost hold. Due to the weather, you would think. We've seen 2 special teams gaffes now, so that keeps it 20-0. That's where it'll stand with 3:41 to play in this first quarter. We'll take a quick break. Be back after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. 20-0 the score. Rain coming down in buckets here at Roncalli Stadium. Well, we have an opportunity. I mean, I have to give the shout out here. I feel like it's in my contract to do so. A shout out to El Principal himself, Kevin Bonich, as well as our mainstay on the Roncalli Media Network, Dan Lauk, flying back from Walt Disney World for fall break, watching us from 32,000 feet, as they mentioned. So they asked for the shout-out, and I will deliver. Of course, if you'd like to give a shout-out, you can do so. Just hit me up on Twitter at @TheJCook. Hit a follow while you're there as well, and we'll be happy to give you a little shout-out as the game unfolds. Royals back to receive yet another squib kick. That's going to be taken by Rudy Shutley at the 10. He'll run left to right to the 20, trying to find a block. He'll be bulldozed to the 24. Ball came out late. Was it recovered in play, or did it go out of bounds first? Let's see. No signal yet. I believe that's going to be Roncalli football, but let's wait. Indeed, it did roll out of bounds. It'll be Roncalli football.
I was going to say the lack of an arrow there from the referee. I just assumed it was going to be on Roncalli.
So thankfully, the Royals able to have disaster averted, but you can tell now you've had a botched punt, a botched extra point, and now nearly ball security issues on the kick return there. This is by both teams, mind you. The rain is becoming a factor. First and 10 from the Roncalli 24.
No, I was going to say the rain is absolutely a factor and will be the rest of the night.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ash in the gun. Brandenburg directly behind him. Now sets him to his right hip. Takes the snap. Play action. Screen pass. Caught by Guthrie. The 25. Full out of steam to the 30. And he'll pick up 7, maybe 8. Largest offensive play of the evening for the Royals. It'll set up second and, wow, they'll say second and 1, a gain of 9.
Tempo now here for Roncalli.
2 wide receivers to the left. It's Guthrie and Shutley. Morelli to the right. Brandenburg the tailback on the left hip of Ash. Second and 1 from the 33. Handoff Brandenburg. Plows forward. Forward progress will give him the first down. Royals move the chains for the first time tonight.
We were due. We were due for one. You know, one of the things I'm noticing, too, about our offense is, you know, we have that movement in the backfield pre-snap, but it's not a lot. It's only 2 or 3 steps.
Yep.
And I don't really know where that's getting us from where they started.
2 wide receivers to the right side and 1 to the left. Once again, it's Brandenburg the tailback to the left hip of Ash. Ball in the near hash on this 1st and 10. Give us to Brandenburg on the handoff, and once again, East Central ready for it. A gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Brandenburg's got to follow his blockers there, too. Instead of following his blockers, which we were slowing up in front of him, he tried to hit the seam. It wasn't there.
East Central not allowing hardly any holes to this point in the running game. Very stout defense, returning a number of players from a year ago. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Ash, near hash, 2nd and 9 from the 37. Quick pass, Elsner. The route is jumped, but Elsner able to catch it and stay on his feet. He's thrown forward for an extra yard. It'll set up 3rd and medium.
Eli Ertl was in there for East Central very quickly. I don't think he even got touched. He went right between the guard and the tackle.
Makes it 3rd down and 5 for the Royals.
It's not easy when they're in the backfield that quick.
No, it's not. Everything speeds up. Your progression speed up. You have to know where your check down is and be able to get rid of the football. Ash has done that well so far. Bunch trips to the left. 1 wide receiver to the right. 3rd and 5 from the 41. Ash, quick snap. Pressure comes. He's sacked. A trio of Trojans surround him for a loss of 5. And Levi Whistler in the punting unit back out there for Roncalli. 1:26 to play in this opening quarter. 20-0 East Central.
Going to give that sack to Braden Rouse, and he's been in the backfield a couple times already too, so I think that was just a matter of time before that happened.
Brotherton stands at the 19-yard line awaiting the Levi Whistler punt. He stands at about the 23.
I think he also serves as the water boy, kick returner, everything else.
That's a bullet of a punt. An absolute laser that's going to be received at the 15 by Brotherton. To the 20, nearly tackled. Now able to jump out of a tackle to the 30, and that's where he'll be brought down. Looked like he'd be dead to rights at about the 15, but Roncalli could not bring the athletic Brotherton down, but an absolute monster of a punt from Levi Whistler.
I think
we'll make East Central work for this.
Whistler might be a little mad he took that hit earlier. That was a good punt. And honestly, if Brotherton doesn't run into Becknell, his own player, he probably is gone for another 10 or 15.
I'll tell you this much, and you might not be aware of this. Perhaps you are. I know you tune in when you can. Levi Whistler, the current holder of the longest punt in school history, set that this season, 74 yards.
That's 3 more than Greg Casaro, right? 71, if I remember my records well.
Believe so. I'll have to check that up with Matt Heinekamp, but I think that's right. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on this 1st and 10 from East Central Zone 29. Handoff, Ringer to the 30, to the 35, dives forward near the first down marker. He'll be about a yard or 2 short. They'll mark him. 1 more play likely in this first quarter, about 6 seconds separating game clock and play clock.
Just as a callback, Greg Casar, of course, owns Indy Fruit, which is one of our great sponsors. So good shout out for him. We can't talk about the record, but we can talk about everything else.
So are you saying this is a great opportunity to pitch to you and potentially Greg, if he's listening, about the Indianapolis Fruit basket for the Indianapolis Fruit Player of the Game?
We'll have to talk about that after the game.
I'm going to continue to push this. Our crew knows it well. A little double reverse action that the Royals were ready for initially. The extra effort, though, was going to get the Trojans the first down and what will likely be the final play of this first quarter.
How do you run a double reverse against a bunch of CYO kids? That's what they've been looking at since they were in 3rd grade.
They'll move the chains. Officials say roll the clock, and East Central just looks to the sidelines. They're proud of their work to this point, as they should be. That'll be the final play of this first quarter. 1 quarter in the books at the end of 1 from Bob Tully Field. East Central 20, Roncalli nothing. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans when we come back on the Roncalli Media Network.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldhoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldhoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldhoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. The rain really coming down now. East Central has it 1st and 10 from the 40. A screen pass to the left side is going to be caught. Receptions made. And that catch, by the way, made on that far left side by Corey Helms. He'll get close to the first down yardage. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Richardson probably saved a touchdown there. If you look behind Richardson getting the tackle, there was nobody there.
It'll set up 2nd and 1 as the rain comes down more from the East Central 49. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. It's a man in motion. It's Ringer. Takes the snap. Does Burton. Screen pass to Brotherton is deflected into the air and incomplete.
That was a check down there as well. He was looking to go deep. I think they're trying to get to 35 as fast as possible, obviously.
Yes. As you would expect.
It's a long drive back to St. Leon, Indiana.
It is. We were joking about that across the board in terms of where the trip is for everybody. Rob Blackman of East Central Radio Network. I was joking with him the other just about an hour ago as we get a 3rd and 1. The hard count works to perfection as about 5 Royals dove forward, knocked over the center, knocked over Burton, and it'll be a move the chains moment for East Central on the 3rd and 1. But go ahead.
I was going to say a light breeze would have knocked over that center.
Yeah, pretty much.
He did a backwards somersault.
He did. You would have thought he was clotheslined as quickly as he fell back. But I was talking with Rob Blackman, and it's like the kick for this game was, I think, originally scheduled for 7:30, but both teams looked at each other like, hey, we're both on fall break. Let's do 7 o'clock instead. So they did so. Handoff, right side, looking for the edge. That time is Ringer. There's nothing there. Great defensive play by A.J. Richardson. It's a loss of 4. It'll bring up 2nd down. But in that same vein, as I told Rob, I would feel the same way if I was him, if I was making the trip to St. Leon, because it cuts a half hour off my drive.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Brings up 2nd and 12.
Got to think they're going to the air here. They want to get back on the right side of those chains quickly. They've not seen a ton of it in the run game, but in the pass game they've been well.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Burton in the gun. Handoff up the middle. Ringer goes forward near the initial 1st down marker, but that's all he'll get. It'll set up 3rd and 10.
So went against my advice. I would have gone for the pass there.
Maybe each coach, even with a 3-score lead, is evaluating the weather.
They're calling plays by committee. Each coach gets their own chance to call a play.
I like to imagine instead they're just a bunch of plays in a hat. Just pulling them out. That one looks good. Cole Burton looks to the sideline and now ready to play. 1 wide receiver to the right, 1 to the left. Burton in the gun. Directly behind him is Ringer. On this 3rd and 9 from the Roncalli 45. Play action. Pressure's there. Screen pass lofted in the air. Caught by Ringer. Makes the first man miss. Cannot make the second man miss. It'll be 4th and about 8. And East Central will be forced to punt for the first time tonight.
I think that was Richardson in there early on in that tackle, and he was not letting him get any more yards. That was a nice, big, solid hit.
Give credit to the Roncalli defense. Again, we mentioned it from an effort standpoint. Starting to rain. You're down 3 scores. Be very easy to pack things in. Not these Royals. Able to force a 3 and out, or force a punt, I beg your pardon. And Ben Brandenburg awaits the punt at the 20. They'll roll out right. It's a fake. Throw downfield. Has a man. It's incomplete. Brotherton had the reception in his hand and dropped it. So the Trojans roll the dice on 4th down, and they come up snake eyes. Turnover on downs.
Nearly dropped it right into a Roncalli play.
It was nearly picked off.
He was lucky he just dropped it. Otherwise, he would have had the ball way back here.
It's one of those situations where, as a DC, you're like, no, yes, oh, okay, all right, we're getting the ball, getting the ball now in a way better field position than we would have before. Though, for what Roncalli needs from a momentum standpoint, you'll take it anywhere you get it, whether it's the interception or a turnover on downs. You're happy with it, but as we've said many a time this year, Aaron, got to make it matter.
Hey,
make the turnover on downs matter.
I said it earlier, any port to storm. Just take any piece of confidence you can get and hold on to it and ride it as long as you can.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 44. Handoff, Brandenburg, up the middle. Flags fly. If that's holding, that was a no gain to begin with. That's going to bump the Royals back even further. We'll see where the flag goes. It is a hold, and it is against the Royals.
Yeah, when you saw the destination of that piece of laundry, you knew exactly what it was going to be.
So bump the Royals back. I believe it was no gain on the play. They'll begin their walk back. It's never the game of cliffhangers I want to play. I'm down with it on a punt, but on the penalty yardage, it's always tough when it's against the Royals. Bump it back 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 20 from their own 34.
I always think holding is too penalized. 10 yards is too much for a hold. 5 yards, what it should be. Yeah, if I get to ever rewrite the rules, that's what
I'm always down for a committee meeting on rule changes. I'm right here. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. High snap, give us to Brandenburg. Full head of steam, lowers the shoulder. He'll pick up about 5. That's up 2nd and 15. 9:05 to play in this opening half. 20-0. Advantage East Central.
First time Brandenburg's really had a nice hold run through all night. And you can see what he can do when he gets his feet going.
3 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Ash looks to the sidelines for instructions. Brandenburg still his tailback, directly behind him. Ash, far hash. 2nd and 15. Sends him in motion. It's Elsner. He'll roll left, looking for Guthrie. Finds him in the flat. It's caught at the 45 to the 50, and he'll set up 3rd and medium for the Royals. A gain of about 10. Call it 11. 3rd and 4 from midfield.
Yeah, they called him right here at midfield, being out of bounds. I'm kind of surprised by that, but then again, I've got players in front of me. So
Ash looks to the sidelines. Got to only have half the field to operate with instead of potentially full field with a Whistler punt. You relied on the defense effectively to punt it back. But I agree with you, we're getting to territory where you might as well just go for it. Good snap. Whistler there, plenty of time. Gathers it away. It's a perfect spiral. Taking it to 15, now to the 20, 25, and a great open space tackle made there by the Royals.
Thought we might see some unnecessary roughness penalty there in the midfield between East Central and Roncalli. Two guys really going after it, but they let them play.
A little bit of chippiness you're saying on display?
That's a little bit of chippiness. I would put it that way.
Well, it doesn't get the rivalry respect because of how many storied matchups there are on the Roncalli schedule, but a lot of bad blood, a lot of crushing by both parties. Roncalli, the more dominant of the two in terms of historical trends, but East Central, of course, gave them a taste of their own medicine last year, bouncing the Royals out in the semi-state round. Handoff, Ringer. He'll keep the pile going for a gain that was going to be 3 to a gain of 9. And they might call it a gain of 10. Let's see where they mark this. As one official has it marked, it's a first down.
The Mr. Whitehead, he's already marked it as a first down.
That's good for a first down.
He's nowhere close to it.
By the way, the ball was nowhere near the stick either. They just pushed it right along.
And I don't want to downplay that very good play by East Central, but what I will say is maybe for your era it doesn't get the rivalry respect, but for mine it definitely does.
Sure.
From those early 2000s.
Well, again, handoff, Brotherton to the left side. He'll try to bounce out to the 40, and he will. 45-50, 55-40. He's nearly going to go. He truck sticks a man to the 20, 15, 10, 5. A Madden hit stick by East Central's Ryan Brotherton. He finds the end zone again, 26-0 East Central. Now, what I was going to say was, no, there's respect in terms of it being a rivalry, but when you think of biggest foes, it gets trumped by Cathedral, Chittard. Like, it's up there in the top 5, no doubt, but it sometimes gets lost until you realize, oh, it's the back end of October, and it's time to either go to St. Leon or welcome them here.
What is it, like NCAA, right? It's an instant classic.
Sure.
We've had too many instant classics.
Yes. Number of them during your run. Good snap, good hold. Kick is good. 7:31 to play. If you ever watch Good Morning Football, Kyle Brandt, angry runs, that was an angry run. 7:31 to play in the half. 27-0 East Central, back in 30.
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
7:31 to play in the second quarter. 27-0 advantage East Central with Aaron Hummel. I'm Jimmy Cook. Thanks so much for spending part of your Friday night with us here on Roncalli Media Network. Boy, do I hope you are dry, because it's coming down in buckets here at Bob Tully Field. Thankfully, though, we're in the friendly confines of the press box. We don't have to deal with that.
It's high and dry up here.
No doubt. 2 plays, 72 yards, 40 seconds to pay dirt. A 62-yard angry run touchdown by Ryan Brotherton. His third touchdown of the game, by the way. It's a squib kick that's taken to the 10-yard line. Out to the 15, nearly slipping a couple of times is Shutley, and he'll be brought down at the 17-yard line.
Despite plenty of practice tonight. We have not looked very good on our returns on the kickoffs. Unfortunately, we just don't seem to be able to set an edge or anything, really. And getting to the 20 has been our biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, you're looking for some type of momentum change on this drive if you're the Royals as they trot back out to the field. Colin Ash leading them out there. Ben Brandenburg is tailback. 2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. 7:26 to play in the second quarter. 1st and 10 Royals from their own 16, I beg your pardon. They trail 27-0. Ash takes the snap, handoff, Brandenburg up the middle. He'll bulldoze his way forward, breaks a tackle, gets the first down, and nearly some more. His best run of the night.
I think they're going to call that a first down.
They should. There it is.
Ben Brandenburg on the carry.
A little angry run of his own right there.
We did. We were going to have some issues, by the way, in terms of, and yes, we've reached that point of the broadcast, the consistency of the officials, because if that wasn't a first down, there was one last drive where it was like the spot got moved up 1.5 yards to move those chains. 1st and 10 Royals from their own 26. 2 wide receivers stacked to the right, 1 to the left. They send a man in motion. It's a play action. Now a screen to Guthrie. He catches at the 20, and he's lit up. Lit up and thrown backwards. Loss of 4 on the play. It'll set up 2nd and about 14.
As you called that, you said it was dubs to the far side. I think it was actually trips because Guthrie came back across.
Yep, you're right.
And not to correct you, but my thought process, I think they're trying to hide Guthrie on that side, and hopefully when they swing him out, there's nobody there.
Well, they wanted that to be the case in that particular play, but East Central, as has been the case all night, right there. 2 wide receivers to the right and 2 to the left. Near hash, 2nd and 14 from their own 22. 6:15 to play second quarter. Handoff, Brandenburg lowers the shoulder, and he's driven back. That is some serious size by Braden Rouse. Able to push Ben Brandenburg back. That's not an easy feat. It's a gain of 2 on the forward progress. Sets up 3rd and 12.
Braden Rouse, 5 tackles on the night already with 1 tackle for loss, and that was a sack earlier in the game, so he's having a good night.
1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right. It'll be Guthrie and Shutley to the right side. Charlie Elsner to the left. Correction, Charlie Elsner on the line. They'll send him in motion. Ash looks that way the whole way. Now fires over the middle, broke it up. He had Shutley, but they had a defender playing spy. It was Dylan Maxwell. He nearly picked that ball off. Instead, just a pass breakup for him. 4th and 12, Levi Whistler back on for the punt.
You said he had Shutley. He also had double coverage with that spy. There was one right behind him as well.
Yep. But it looked like where Shutley was, he was in front of that spy, so he would have had an opportunity at the ball. It was missing Maxwell that really created the problems there. Levi Whistler back on. 5.5 to play second quarter. 27-0 East Central. Levi all the time in the world. It is a sidewinder that takes a Royals bounce to the 40 all the way to the 33-yard line. It'll get to the 32, and that's where they will mark it dead. So East Central back on. The Royals offense unable to solve this labyrinth of challenges that the East Central defense has presented.
And not to look too far ahead, but if East Central scores here, do you go for 2?
Well, you asked, I think earlier, what was the relevance of the point after try being missed. That's it in terms of where your mindset is for East Central. 2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Burton in the gun. His tailback is Ringer. 1st and 10 from his own 32. It's a quarterback keeper. To the 30, out to the 35. Great tackle in space as that play is made by Sam Rader.
Yeah, Rader looked good there. He came right up, took on a player bigger than him, and still brought him down.
Called a pickup of 3 yards, 2nd and 7 from the East Central 35-yard line. Burton once again looks to the sidelines. You can get a great pulse of who prepared for tonight's game and who didn't from a crowd standpoint. I'll get to that in a second. Handoff up the middle. It's given to Brotherton. He's going to pick up 6 right at the sticks. They'll call it a pickup of 7 and move those chains.
I've got
pretty much
breath.
at closest. Well, go ahead.
No, I've got bated breath on what you were about to.
Okay, so it's pretty much close without going over, by the way, in terms of first down yardage. If you're there, they're going to round up for you. So, you can tell who prepared and who didn't for tonight's game with the amount of umbrellas that you see. And you see a ton of them on both sides. But if you didn't pack an umbrella, and especially if you only packed a sweatshirt tonight, you did not prepare.
Not a Boy Scout, not prepared.
Exactly. 2 wide receivers to the left, one to the right on this 1st and 10 from their own 42. Burton, full jailbreak blitz. It's a screen pass to Ringer. They missed the initial tackle. This could be trouble. To the 50, to the 45, stays upright to the 35-30. Now it's a foot race to the 25-20, 15-10-5, touchdown Trojans. A jailhouse break on the blitz by the Royals. The initial tackle missed on the bailout screen to Ringer, and he's off to the races, 33-0 East Central with 4:25 to play in this second quarter.
The initial tackle, there was 5 other missed tackles after that. I mean, the guy just would not fall over. He was like one of those weebles. They wobble, but they don't fall down.
Well, to answer the question that was on the mind of Aaron Hummel, there is no 2-point try here.
So far, we don't know.
Nathan McPhee on for the point after. High snap. PAT is up, and it is good. 4:25 to play in this second quarter. All East Central. They lead it 34-0 here on the Roncalli Media Network. Back in 30.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
.425 to play in this second quarter. All East Central 34-0. They lead it. 3 plays, 68 yards in 52 seconds. It's a 58-yard touchdown pass from Burton to Ringer on a delayed screen. It was basically a jailbreak blitz. And Roncalli had multiple opportunities to bring down Ringer, none more so than the point of attack. And he rolled over defenders, made it all the way to the house to make it 34-0.
Don't want to take away anything from his other wide receivers that were also helping him stay up, too. I mean, that was just a good team play.
Good blocks all around, yep.
Yeah.
Line drive kickoff this time. That'll roll all the way into the end zone for a touchback. So the Royals will be in business at their own 20. If you're just joining us, Roncalli offense, just a handful of first downs to their name. A lot of Levi Whistler punts. And the rain has presented a factor for the Roncalli offense, and not the good way. Think about traditional Roncalli teams and how they can outsize people, and you see rain, you kind of smile because you know it's going to be an ugly ground-and-pound game. East Central's been ready for every angle of that, Aaron.
Yeah, 10 carries, 6 yards for Roncalli right now. That is not a stat line you hear very often for this ball club.
2 wide receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Ash in the gun, 1st and 10 from his own 20. Option look. He'll go straight forward, will Ash, and pick up about 4. Could have pitched it to Brandenburg, who was on his right side. He elected to keep it himself. And he'll pick up about 5, 2nd and 5 upcoming.
Yeah, Roncalli only with 39 total yards tonight on offense compared to 276 for East Central. A little lopsided.
Just a tiny bit. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ash, handoff, Brandenburg. He lowers the shoulder, keeps the legs turning. It'll be 3rd and 1. Under 4 minutes to play in this second quarter. 34-0 East Central. 3rd and 1 from the Roncalli 29, upcoming for the Royals. Ash will look to the sidelines.
3rd down and 1.
Looks like there'd be some sort of personnel questioning. So Roncalli will substitute.
Well, I thought I would bring on Nathan Turner.
Down to 15 on the time clock.
All the way to 10. Ash in the gun. 1 wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right. They send a man in motion. High snap, handoff, Brandenburg. He waits, he pushes forward. Forward progress again. If we're playing the round-up game that has been the case with these officials, you're moving those chains.
You can't dance in the backfield on 3rd and 1 like that. You've got to hit the hole, get your 1 yard, get your first down.
It will move those chains and set up 1st and 10 for the Royals from their own 30. 3:10 to play in the second quarter. All East Central, 34-0. Ash in the gun. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Brandenburg, the tailback, takes the snap. Looking for Brandenburg on a screen. Got him. It's caught at the 30, and he can't get out of the tackle. He had space in front of him, but 3 Trojans swallow him up after the initial tackle. And it's a whistle fest. Reason being, an East Central timeout. We'll take one as well. 2:48 to play in this first half. 34-0 Trojans on the Roncalli Media Network.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
2:48 to play in this first half. 2nd and 8 upcoming for the Royals. With Aaron Hummel, I'm Jimmy Cook. Royals break the huddle, trying to put together some type of scoring drive before we get to the intermission. East Central will get the ball to start the second half. They deferred at the coin toss. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left for Ash. Brandenburg is tailback to his right hip. Takes the snap. Looks for a screen. Fakes that way. Now a go ball downfield to Elsner. Nearly intercepted. They had a safety over the top that was lurking there. It was Moses Wheat. Bounced out of his hands. 3rd down.
We were either going to have an interception or a hit stick right there had that been completed.
Yep. And you saw Ash very clear, and rightfully so. You tipped the cap to him from his progressions there. He's going for that initial home run read, but Elsner would have paid the price if the reception is made there. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on this 3rd and 7. Ash, quick screen, caught by Bennett. He'll spin, he'll turn, and make that Zach Dozier, I beg your pardon. He'll pick up about 3, and it'll set up 4th and medium. And now decision time for the Royals.
East Central's going to take a timeout.
East Central take a timeout. We'll take another 30-second break with them. Decision time for the Royals, 4th and 5 from their own 35. When we come back on the Roncalli Media Network.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
2:36 to play in this first half. East Central calls the timeout. I believe they have 1 remaining.
That's correct.
34-0 they lead, and we didn't see this a week ago, but there's an opportunity now here. Whether you want to call it pettiness, gamesmanship, or the opportunity to potentially cut off more time for the drive home.
Or all the above.
East Central realizing they can get the ball back and need only a field goal to activate running clock. Whistler with a beautiful punt that's fair, caught at the 25, and that is where the East Central offense will operate. So what's at stake for the Royals right now, and not to say they can't fight for this the rest of the game, but it's a pride standpoint here.
Absolutely.
You know what has just happened, Aaron. East Central has called the timeouts. They want the ball back. They smell blood in the water, and they want running clock before half.
It's just, I get why they're doing this.
Oh, to be clear, I'm not faulting it.
Yeah, totally.
Just observing it. Not faulting it at all.
Absolutely. So I think right here they're going to maybe take a shot with Brotherly here on the near side. Why not?
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 1st and 10 for their own 25. Handoff to Ringer. He's got a blocker in front of him to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and he's shoestrung from behind. A touchdown-saving tackle by A.J. Richardson. That is the good news. The bad news, the Trojans are past midfield with 2:20 to play in the half.
Why throw it to Brotherton over here on the near side when you can get a run like that?
Josh Ringer, one of the top backs in the state. 31 touchdowns coming in. First and 10 from the Roncalli 48. Through either receivers to the right, one to the left. Give once again is to Ringer. Full head of steam, lowers the shoulder, makes a man miss, stays upright, has the first down, out to the 35-yard line of Roncalli. Under 2 minutes to play in the half. Clock will stop for the chains to move.
He had 27 on that play before. So, I mean, if you can get 27 yards on any play, you're doing just fine.
Well, I think East Central realizes they don't need to fully go for the jugular in terms of a touchdown. They could be potentially mapping up a field goal. That does it for them as well. 2 wide receivers to the left. One of them is Ringer, and 2 to the right. The tailback is Ryan Mingus. They set him in motion. That's Ringer. It'll be handed off to him. To the right side, trying to get the edge. He has it to the 30, 25-20. Great block in space to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Shoved out of bounds at the 2. First and goal, Trojans. Just outside of 90 seconds to play in the half.
I think they just gave him
they're going to mark it a touchdown. It's a good eye on your part. The white hat says a touchdown. 40-0 East Central. And in the blink of an eye, running clock is activated.
You know, I got to say, Ringer he does not look fast. He's just got a great stride. You know, that stride's taking up a lot of yardage as he moves, and is just able to get right through our defenders.
Point after try. Set for McPhee. Good snap. Good hold. Point after try is good. 1:31 to play in this second quarter. East Central has activated running clock, 41-0. Advantage Trojans. Back in a moment on the Roncalli Media Network.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Oh, there you go. 1:31 to play in this first half. 41-0 advantage. Advantage East Central. 3 plays, 75 yards, 36-yard touchdown in 58 seconds. And a nice, I give credit to the Heinecamp family, and the reason I chuckled is because we have obviously good rapport here in the booth, but they hand us these scoring drives every time, and I asked for something, just something different on the paper, and some rain clouds. It's the illustration there.
Oh, I was hoping she gave you the life advice.
No, I didn't get the life advice, but I did get a beautiful
that's the weather report.
Illustration. The squib kick taken at the 10. The Royals lose it into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. I tell you what, if this is... Actually, I need to look that up before I say that. I was going to say, when you make contact with that football at the next level, pretty sure that becomes a live ball.
Yeah, you touch it.
I didn't double check that, but I'm pretty certain. As the Royals did there, it's live ball, and now you're running for your life. Instead, they'll get it at the 20.
I think I would have let that one go anyway. It was going so fast. It was going to go in the end zone anyway.
Yep.
You're going to start as good, if not better, than your last couple drives. Last one, I think, was at the 16. So, you know, sometimes it's just those 4 yards can make a difference.
First and 10 Royals near hash from their own 20. 90 seconds to play in the first half. 41-0 East Central. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash will keep it himself. Has a block. Trying to spin and turn. He does. Falls forward for 5.
Oh, and Ash keeps it himself.
It's good to call your own number once in a while.
Nothing wrong with that. Got a nice mid-gainer. Gain of 4. 2nd and 6 from the Roncalli 24. Ash looks over to his sideline. Reminder coming up at halftime. We'll have first half thoughts and analysis as well on keys to the second half. Handoff Brandenburg. He slips initially on his cut, is able to spin forward, keep the pile going, and he'll have the first down with 45 seconds to play. Also have a few minutes with the president, as President Chuck Weisenbach himself. Nice conversation on the latest ongoings around Roncalli's campus.
I believe the subject this week, if it's the one I'm thinking of, is going to be close to me because it's cafeteria. It was my favorite class here at Roncalli.
There you go.
Was lunch. Nice. So it's going to be a good one about the wonderful cafeteria staff.
By the way, an unrelated question. Slightly related to the cafeteria, unrelated to the game, obviously. Screen pass, right side, caught by Brandenburg to the 25. It's finally brought down. This feels like a foolish question, but I haven't been inside the Roncalli cafeteria in a decade. Papa John's pizza still a thing?
It is not. It is not. I don't think that goes along with the food program for nutritional value and everything else. So, no, it is not. But you know what is? And one of my favorites is the Roncalli cookies. They're still around.
Oh, they are.
And they're still delicious.
They're delightful. Ordinarily, this is my rant where I tell the audience I've had 5 of them, but regrettably, and I understand it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. By the way, it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 25. Flags fly as 000s are hit. And that'll be the end of the first half. No cookies tonight in the press box because of fall break. I understand. Hey, listen, it was a sacrifice that I was willing to undertake, but no cookies in the press box here at Bob Tully Field. Hope everybody is enjoying the back half of their fall break. For the Royals, not a lot of enjoyment in terms of the halftime proceedings for where they need to kind of pick themselves up by the bootstraps if they want to not only build on this week, but understand that in terms of, and we'll get into this during the halftime show, Aaron, but at a minimum, what you're looking at now, not just from an effort standpoint, but from a development standpoint, this is the best team in the state that you're playing. You still have a half of football to play with them, and if you have any aspirations of trying to capture a state title this year, that's still on the bulletin board. This is who you're going to have to go through. So you might as well not lay down in the second half. Yeah, it's 41-0, but throw out the scoreboard at this point, and it's a development game at this point. It is an opportunity to continue to grow as a team against the benchmark for what Class 4A is right now.
That's right. You got to play them sometime.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have first half initial thoughts as well as a look at the stats, a look at adjustments for both sides, and as we teased, a few minutes with the president, Chuck Weisenbach. But for now, we step aside for 4 minutes at the intermission. East Central, 41. Roncalli, nothing. Back in 4 minutes on the Roncalli Media Network.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane & Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane & Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane & Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane & Bartram, 317-889-9574. Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldhoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldhoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldhoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
It's halftime at Bob Tully Field, and on both sides of the bleachers, some fans have headed for shelter. Some fans have headed to the concession. Some fans even still have headed to the exits. At least that's the mindset for a number of, we joked about it, East Central fans more than likely. Take a little time off the drive, as you teased it, Aaron, get a little La Rosa's Pizza as the halftime show begins here from Bob Tully Field. 41-0 advantage East Central. If you're just joining us, that is why some of the East Central fans are able to potentially get that early start home. Let's take a look at the first half numbers. Starting first with just the totals across the board for both teams. For East Central, as you would expect with a score like that, leading in pretty much every statistical category. 14-4 advantage East Central in terms of first downs. Total rushing yards, 204 for East Central, 28 for Roncalli. Total passing yards, 147 for East Central, 26 for Roncalli. Offensive plays, Roncalli gets the edge there. They've run 30 of them, but again, that's not it's not exactly the mark that you want to have, knowing that it's taken just 26 plays for the Trojans to put up a 40-burger on you in the first half. As you look down the rest of the way, what jumps out at you that I didn't possibly mention?
I would put it this way.
Sure.
So, you go to the doctor, you get your blood work done, right? Your doctor puts this in front of you. Let me tell you something. This is a wake-up call for me. I mean, they're going to sit here and go, look, every single one of your enzymes is off. There's not a single statistical category that looks good on this piece of paper for Roncalli right now. And I joked about it earlier. When the wheels have fallen off the bus, the only thing left to fall off is the spare. And that's essentially what happened there in the second quarter. Giving up 21 points after giving up 20, that's not going in the right direction. Roncalli's got to come back out here and get something out of this to take over into the sectional next week.
If you're looking for something, and it's not a positive in the sense that anybody wants to hear it except his family and him to some extent, because he knows the type of player that he is and how talented he is. 5 punts for 193 yards for Levi Whistler in that first half. And again, it highlights his leg, and it highlights how talented he is. But again, like I stressed, Aaron, nobody wants that to be the leading stat at halftime.
So was it like a week ago that
that's where we are.
The Vanderbilt kicker had made the most punts in school history. That was like the new thing. I thought, way to lead in the thing you don't want to lead in. Right?
Hey, somebody has to go to the Pro Bowl in that category.
That's exactly
and Levi
right.
Whistler is leading his campaign. And currently, if we're being honest, and this is just a benchmark for where things are at the intermission, if the game ended right now, and you might not know this, that I didn't put it in your job description, but Dan Lauk knows it, as is Kevin Bonnage, you are responsible for the Indianapolis Fruit Player of the game.
It's Levi Whistler.
It's Levi Whistler right now.
He's in the barn.
He is in the clubhouse with a comfortable 5-shot lead as things currently stand for Levi Whistler.
His left arm's just a tad longer than the right for that green jacket.
There you go. Well done. I love a good Happy Gilmore reference here. I didn't have it on the bingo card, but I should have, and that's where things stand here at halftime from Bob Tully Field. As you look at just individual numbers for Colin Ash, 8 for 14, 26 yards to his name with 1 pick. Ben Brandenburg, 11 carries for 31 yards along of 10. He's also caught 3 balls as well. James Guthrie has been a nice addition. You saw him a little bit in spurts last week, and the workload a bit larger tonight with no Christian Sweezy. He's caught every pass that's been thrown his way for 16 yards, about 5 yards per catch. From the East Central side of things, Cole Burton show has been as good as advertised. 7 for 8, 147 yards, an 87% completion percentage for those of you keeping score at home. 3 touchdowns to 0 picks. I think it's capped at the NFL level, but it might not be with our StatCast. 365.6 is his QBR. Again, I think that's capped at the pro level. I need to have a conversation with our director of stats in Matt Honeycamp with how that works, but that is where it stands for the
It's just a full circle. It's just a 365. He's done it all. That's what we're trying to say.
He has made one revolution in terms of where things stand from a QBR perspective. That first half for Cole Burton. Josh Ringer as well, been as good as advertised. 12 carries for 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, as well as caught 2 balls thrown his way. A little bit later in halftime, we will get a look at Aaron's keys to the second half for both sides, both for Roncalli and East Central. But when we return, the conversation, a few minutes, rather, with the president, Chuck Weisenbach, as he gives us the latest on the ongoings around this beautiful campus that is Roncalli High School. At the intermission, 41-0 advantage East Central.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in Central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
Welcome to the October edition of A Few Minutes with the President. I think many folks would be amazed at just how many people it takes to run a highly successful high school on a daily basis. Teachers and students are at the core of each of our school days, as it should be, but it takes custodians, maintenance workers, bus drivers, administrative assistants, coaches, administrators. The list could go on and on. One of the most overlooked and underappreciated groups can sometimes be the cafeteria staff, whose task it is to feed 1,100 teenagers on a daily basis. Few things intimidate me in a school setting, but the thought of having to daily prepare and feed 1,100 teenagers scares the bejeebers out of me. For many years now, Roncalli has been blessed with an outstanding group of dedicated folks who've done this job masterfully. For this episode, I'm joined by current Roncalli High School Food Services Director Jeff Richardson. Jeff, thank you for joining me, and thank you for your outstanding work. Can you share with our viewers a little bit about your work?
I was hired at Roncalli during the middle of the pandemic, so I haven't had the opportunity to see what normal really looks like since I've taken over here. Many would agree that post-pandemic, many industries have been affected by a shortage of labor employees, transportation, and service experts. I can have food and drink and service calls for maintenance scheduled to the best of my ability, but we rely heavily on these manufacturers and food industry companies to live up to the same standards that we hold ourselves to. And it's simply hard to get suppliers to do their jobs the way the companies did before COVID. Late deliveries or no deliveries at all are the norm now, along with less qualified service technicians maintaining our equipment. These are just a few of the things that keep me up at night.
I can only imagine. What's the most rewarding part of your job?
One of my favorite Bible verses is Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, which says, "And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap, if we do not give up." The most rewarding aspect to this profession is the pleasure you get from feeding the students and staff here at Roncalli and hearing all of the positive feedback that we receive on a daily basis. We work extremely hard to offer about 20 lunch options each day, along with our world-famous Roncalli cookies, milkshakes, and so many other a la carte items. We also often hear from former students about how much they enjoyed lunch at Roncalli, and it is a great selling point when we host shadow students from the area schools. My job is to make this the most pleasurable experience for all of our customers, and to hear how much they enjoy their time with us, it just really warms my heart and makes it all worthwhile.
Thank you. And so I've got to ask, are there days where you wake up in the middle of the night and say, oh my goodness, I've got to feed 1,100 teenagers tomorrow?
Absolutely, every day. The work we all do can be overwhelming, and the pressure I put on myself to perfect things only adds to the organized chaos. We can't have school without lunch, but this team we have put together on the cafeteria staff are the real heroes day in, day out. And we'll keep coming back because we have so many people that count on us and expect our very best each and every day. We are blessed beyond measure to be a part of the wonderful Roncalli community.
Thank you again, Jeff, for all the work you do and your team. You've got an outstanding team that is a real blessing to our school on a daily basis. Thank you very much. And as always, thank you to all of you for your support of Roncalli High School. A special thank you to those of you who include us in your prayers. Very much appreciated. Until next month, God bless you. Go Royals, and St. John the 23rd, pray for us.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now, when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field with Aaron Hummel. I'm Jimmy Cook. Royals trailing at the break 41-0. Before we take our final break of halftime, Aaron, when you look at both sides, we'll start first with East Central. Not a ton to change, but what, if anything, do you adjust if you're the Trojans?
I'd probably go ahead and warm up the bus at the end of the third quarter because It's going to be fast here in the second half. I think that they're probably going to allow some of their players to get some experience. I mean, when you have so many good players that are playing here, you got a week from now, you got to play your first playoff game, right? You might as well give them some extra rest if you can. As for Roncalli, I think this is all about confidence going into the sectional. The coaches, they've got to keep up the drive and energy of the team, and that can be very hard down this much at half. So I guess we'll see how they respond, but it will be a running clock there in the second half.
The running clock has been activated, and as we look at where things stand for this second half, I believe we're going to keep it here. I'm waiting to see what they do with the clock. I've to borrow a phrase, I've lost the plot slightly with where things stand in terms of the timing, but I think they already threw the 3 minutes up there. So we will indeed. This is mainly for our production truck, led by the talented AJ Avalon, Director of Video Operations, and his student crew. We will keep it here. So our halftime proceedings are now in the books as the Royals will kick it off to East Central here in just a moment to start the second half. A reminder, we didn't get to this during our halftime proceedings. We'll get to it at the Indy Teledata postgame show a little bit more in depth, but it's not listed in the game notes for some reason. However, I want it noted publicly. The Royals did have their sectional draw already. They did draw Shortridge. Shortridge will come here next week for the first round of sectional 21. A great draw, all things considered, for the Royals. While we heard Coach Q in the pregame, he would have welcomed an opportunity at rebuff right out of the gate. You have to wait till the sectional title game for a potential rematch with the Braves. I want to thank you once again for spending your Friday night with us here on the Roncalli Media Network, all regular season long, in fact. We've had quite a bit of fun. Aaron Hummel, Kevin Bonich, Dan Lauk have been our crew throughout.
You've got quite the stable. Thank you.
Hey, we have a wonderful, wonderful bullpen of color analysts with us here on the Roncalli Media Network. Dan Lauk will be back in the fold, of course, next week, but Aaron and I still here to entertain you for 2 more quarters, plus the Indy Teledata postgame show. Running clock is rolling. East Central executed the timeout game to perfection, able to get the touchdown required to push that running clock activation for the start of this second half.
This feels like a Madden factoid. This is their worst starting position of the night. The 20.
I love a good Madden factoid. Somewhere.
It's the only time they've been kicked off, too, so.
That's true. It's a good point. Still be Burton in the gun, at least for this opening series. Handoff up the middle to Ringer, and he is going to be snuffed out and go nowhere. He could have had a loss of 5, but it speaks to his athleticism. He's able to turn it into no gain on the play, maybe a loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage really on that one. Roncalli just not able to bring him down the backfield.
East Central looks to the sideline, waiting for the play to come in. Now they have it set. 1 wide receiver to the right, 2 to the left. Handoff to Brotherton. He's tackled from behind over top after a gain of 3. Sets up 3rd and medium.
Now, if you're East Central, do you keep these starters in just one series here in the second half, or do you think they play a little longer?
Well, it goes back to a couple of things. Your balancing act of there's no reason to risk injury in a game where, for the official record, the rain has subsided, but it's still a little wet out there on the field. You don't want to risk injury, but also, we mentioned it, there's still rivalry connotations here. We'd walk into the running up the score conversation depending on how East Central wants to play this. They'll roll right. Burton, cross body, near the sticks. Catch is not made. It's an assist from the turf and an injured Trojan on the field. I tell you what, something like that, if that happens, Brotherton is grabbing at his left arm. Sometimes that type of play is the only reminder you need as a coaching staff to be like, you know what, we're up 6 scores. Maybe it's time just to
I liken it to
call in the second unit.
A couple weeks ago, and this is a little bit different, but like Miami going for it when all they needed to do was take a knee a couple weeks ago, and run out the clock. Yeah, at some point you just have to play smart football.
Correct.
That's protecting your players.
And just to clarify, because I'm not going to let Miami get away scot-free with the way you mentioned that, there was no going for it. There was just moronic play calling.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Line drive. It's a bouncer of a punt that's scooped up at the 40 and immediately swallowed up with defenders all around with Sam Rader.
Sam Rader on the return.
So it'll set the Royals up with some of their best field position of the evening, though, based on how their defense is able to play there. We 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 37-yard line. 8:50 counting in this third quarter. All Trojans 41-0. It should be noted, and this is just for the historical fact and something I'm rooting for on this drive, not just because I want points for the Royals offense. We joked about this at the top of the broadcast, but it's starting to be true now. No team in Roncalli history has been shut out 3 straight games. And I understand you might laugh at that at home, but you're looking for anything to get your offense going to keep your players motivated. That's part of it. That's not a part of history I'd like to be involved with. Handoff, Brandenburg. He is swallowed up by 3 Trojans.
Well, I, of course, worry, Jimmy, about your mental health, not calling a touchdown for 3 weeks in a row.
Thank you.
Everything's important. You got to, make that crucial catch, get a touchdown, and put Jimmy back in the right side of things. He's got the shakes.
I feel like I could be wrong on this, and I know it's not what you meant, but I just for the humor of the thing, I feel like a crucial catch is the NFL's campaign to fight cancer. So I feel like we can't have that be named.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean a crucial catch in the end zone.
I understand, but I feel like that can't be the campaign we use for my sanity. I feel like we got to get back in the R&D and figure out what we want to do.
We didn't test that.
Hand off to Ben Brandenburg up the middle, and he's stonewalled. It'll be a loss. They'll probably call it no gain on the play with forward progress. They'll set up 3rd and 12.
No, what I was referring to is we've seen some long balls thrown today, but none of them have been catchable, really. They've all been mostly over the heads of the receivers. Yep. I think if Roncalli makes any one of those 3 or 4 and just gets an opportunity to get some yardage, that would really do a lot for this team.
I would agree. And that's part of what you talk about with this tough schedule from a mental standpoint. And we'll look at this the post game, but yes, on paper, Roncalli should beat Shortridge next week, but you hope that there's not spirits broken from what the last 3 weeks have done to Roncalli from a mental standpoint.
Well, you're playing the top talent in each of those classes.
Correct. Rollout, Ash, pump fakes. He'll gain 2, so it won't be a technical sack, but he was running for his life, able to get back to the initial first down mark. It'll be 4th and 10, and Levi Whistler back out there to punt.
Makes it 4th down.
With his punting ability from where we're punting at the 37-yard line, he could really pin them pretty deep here. He's done a great job tonight of not doing end-over-end punts. They've all been spirals. They've just looked great.
Whistler stands at the 28 as he gets a nice spiral punt that'll be taken at the 20. Spin move to the 25. Still on their feet and finally brought down at the 26-yard line. That's where we'll see the East Central offense for the second time in this second half. 6:05 to play with running clock activated. 41-0. Advantage East Central.
Of course, this is their second worst starting point of the day, the 26-yard line.
We talked about one of them was a half tongue-in-cheek of it's their first time kicking off, but the second time, all on the leg of Levi Whistler.
I was being serious.
I know you were. I know you were both times, to be clear.
No, I'm being honest. I mean, that's a good thing. If Roncalli can, put them in some bad positions, get a stop or two, I think that does help that mental part that we talked about earlier.
No doubt about that. Under center is Burton. Handoff, left side for 4 is Ryan Mingus.
And honestly, right there, I think we're maybe 1 year of experience from that being a 1-yard gain and not a 4-yard gain.
I would agree.
His extra effort really put him into that 4-yard territory.
Well, that's what, again, the standard is still contending for championships, but that's the area of growth that Roncalli is hoping for in this in-between year, if you will, with a lot of young upperclassmen that are in their junior season. There's some sophomores there in key positions as well. You're hoping for a massive leap forward in the offseason, kind of like we saw about 5 or 6 years ago. 2nd and 5 from their own 31. Pressure swarms Burton. He's able to somehow get out of trouble. Carry tacklers with him an extra 6 yards. He has the first down all the way out to the 40. A gain of 9.
You said it in the pregame. A lot of these guys for East Central that we're watching play, I mean, they played and were starters on last year's state championship team. So, I mean, these guys are coming back.
Burton's a starter. Ringer's a starter. They have a tight end, Kate Wheat, who's in and out at times. He's a starter. A number of offensive linemen are returners. They just all along this, that's not even looking at the defensive East Central. They have starters. Ryan Brotherton wasn't the number 1 a year ago, but he was a starter in terms of wide receivers. 1st and 10 from the 41. Handoff. Ringer to the 40. Cuts upfield to the 45. Flag flies likely for a hold, but he's still going to run this out all the way to the 40-yard line of Roncalli. But a flag is thrown at the other 40 in the area of holding. It is indeed a hold, and that'll walk things back with 3:50 to play in this third quarter.
You like it, too, seeing that yellow in the backfield. So it's not just – it adds insult to injury when you've got a spot foul like that where you're already going to lose a yard before the 10.
So they'll move things back. And Roncalli, a real opportunity to make life hard on East Central and then, again, potentially give themselves some nice field position to put together a scoring drive.
Holding.
Hold a bump back 10, 1st and 20.
He actually called it at the lines to make it so it would be 20 instead of 21.
Ball will be at the 31-yard line.
What play do you run on 1st and 21? I'm sure Kevin Bonnet would tell me that's a running down.
Two wide receivers to the left, one to the right. Once again, Burton in the gun. Sends him in motion. And we got movement. Might be a false start on East Central.
Flag on the play. False start.
So bump it back further.
I was going to say the last two plays. Sorry to talk over you. I didn't mean to do that. The last two plays are the two best for the Roncalli defense so far tonight.
Well, it's some of those again. Like East Central was clear a class in themselves as things stand tonight as the top team in the state. But it's little things like that where, man, like if you could have gotten defensive plays like that on the opening drive, like maybe you're able to then build on it. It's still significant. It gives you an opportunity to pick yourself up off the mat now, but not as much in terms of changing the result of this game. Two wide receivers to the left, one to the right. Handoff is to Ringer. He'll cut upfield to the 35, dive forward to the 37 before he's finally brought down.
Ringer's another one I'm surprised they're going to leave in there and let him take shots like that. I mean, you got to be ready for the postseason. I get that, but as we saw Brotherton walk off, I thought we'd see some more of that here early because this is the second possession there of that third quarter.
They're starting to work other guys in. Jacob Giannetti, senior, has been rotated in a couple of times as they've gone down the depth chart a bit. One wide receiver to the left, one to the right, 2nd and 13. A minute 40 to play in this third quarter. Ball on the East Central 38. It's a delayed handoff. Bulldozing to the 45. Still going out to the 48-yard line. A pickup of nearly 10.
Ryan Mingus on the carry.
It'll set up 3rd and 3.
Again, it's so many yards per play that even on a 1st and 25 doesn't scare them away from running their offense and getting first downs. And that's what they're looking to do right here.
Yeah, they're content with their offense just humming along and bleeding the clock as we have a minute to go in this third quarter. One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. 3rd and 3 from their own 48, and a neutral zone infraction going to go against the Royals.
The really bad part about that is it gives East Central a first down, okay? But the worst part about it is it's your nose guard that comes across. He's literally looking at the football. But that hard count can sometimes just be too much to stay away from.
And you're at a point as well probably from the Roncalli side where you're trying to overcompensate a little bit. You're trying to press and get yourself a momentum play, and you lose sight of something like that. You start playing, again, in that instance that you mentioned, with your ears instead of your eyes, trying to stay locked in, and it leads to the penalty.
That's always been a thing that I believe in is the idea that cadence can draw somebody off you. Back when I was here, it was set, go, hut, and I can't tell you how many times we got people on go because in practice, coaches would use that as their starter for a lot of things. So.
That'll be the final play of the third quarter. We played 3 quarters in the books. We'll play one more. Heading into the fourth, East Central 41, Roncalli nothing. 1st and 10 Trojans when we come back on the Roncalli Media Network.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane & Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane & Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane & Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane & Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Welcome back to Bob Telly Field. As we return, a handoff to the right side. Picks up 5.
Gain of 5, 2nd down.
Let me tell you something. The student section's still here, still going bananas down there. And I just saw him jumping around. I mean, I don't think they're letting the scoreboard get to him.
There are still some students there, I can confirm. 2nd and 5 upcoming. Jersey night in the student section.
I always like a good jersey night because I see a Kenny Dilger Colts jersey down there.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to fully see the students at the Apex a little bit earlier. Aaron's right, there are still some students in the building. Handoff, gain of about 3. It'll set up 3rd and 2. So I didn't get an opportunity to, I always take a nod of, okay, who's carrying the Chiefs legacy on here at Roncalli? Did anybody do so? And there's none out there. A couple Bengals jerseys, a Packers jersey, a lot of Colts jerseys.
And the other thing, too, is you'd think you'd see one down there with all of the Taylor Swift drama we've been having to deal with on ESPN. Had to bring that in the broadcast, of course.
I appreciate you doing that. I'm not going to take the bait. Taylor's one of us. She's part of the Chiefs kingdom at this point. That's all I can say. 3rd and 2 from the 39. Handoff to Ringer, and he's lit up. Great penetration. The tackle is made.
It's Nathan Turner. And he had some words to say there to that lead blocker there in the backfield. So
Nathan Turner able to get the initial penetration and make the tackle. That's up 4th down, 4th and 6.
We've got a replay there. I mean, you just look at him, just manhandling. As soon as he gets up, he looks right at number 7.
Trojans in a stacked overload formation to the right.
I mean, are they
get set to punt?
On the line on the far side? I'm not sure.
Appears so. That's a line drive of a punt. That's going to take an East Central bounce. Royals will scoop it up and be thrown down from behind. Royals will be down at about the 5-yard line. It might mark forward progress at the 8, but either way, about 92 yards plus to go.
That's longer than a Levi Whistler punt.
Indeed. The Royals offense will trot back out with 9.5 to play here in this 4th quarter. I want to remind you again, a week from now, the postseason, the second season, finally arrives. Roncalli will host Shortridge. We'll have that one for you. Dan Lauk back in the saddle. 7 o'clock kick, 6:45 start time. Hope you'll be a part of it.
Shortridge, the Blue Devils, right? I believe so.
Yes, you are correct. We also get a thumbs up from Director of Stats, Matt Heinekamp. At least I assume it was him. Every time you see like a disembodied limb every now and again pop out from the broadcast booth, but it was him. 1st and 10 Royals from the 8. 3-yard drop, screen pass, left side, swallowed up.
Loss.
Called a loss of 2. 2nd down.
Yeah, if you're going to have that screen play, we really, really show it off. I mean, it's very obvious it's coming. It's not very hidden. So if we're going to do that, when we catch the ball, we've got to make that first guy miss.
Ash once again looks towards the sidelines. 2 wide receivers to his right and 2 to the left. I also have a shout-out to give here for one of our very own inside this press box right now. Delayed draw. Ash in space to the 15. Out to the 20 is the first down to the 25. Stumbles forward to the 30-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Royals, and that might be the biggest play from scrimmage tonight.
I'm sure it is. I didn't even look at the screen. I'm sure it is. I'm positive that is.
Rick Dye has SID. We'll give him a shout-out as well. He's checking in from Dale Hollow. Says the smallmouth are biting. Just wanted to share some good news. I appreciate that. Something fish fry, he adds there. That's always good. But no, I was going to give a shout-out to one of our very own, assistant athletic director. We'll let this play run as well. 1st and 10 to the 28. Handoff, Ben Brandenburg. He spins, he turns, and he's swallowed up. Call it no gain on the play. But assistant athletic director as well as girls basketball head coach Jason Sims, he mentioned this to me. He went to work on the windows in the broadcast booth to perfection. Crystal clear and pristine.
I've never seen him so clear.
Shout out to him. You would have thought that I went to Vision Quest.
I know, right?
That's how clear those
beautiful, clear eyes right there. Yep. Yeah.
Official sponsor of the Roncalli Media Network.
That back-to-school checkup for you.
Pitch to Ben Brandenburg to the outside. He lowers his shoulder to the 32, or he's finally brought down. Called a gain of 4. 3rd and 6 upcoming. Gain of 5, actually, so they'll call it 3rd and 5.
That long run earlier by Ash, 22 yards, and yes, was the longest of the day so far. So look, I did go check because you gave me the look.
I appreciate that. A hard day's work put in by you. Thank you for doing that. Look, I'll say a lot, but if I Jimmy Cook am able to identify
The longest play?
off the top of my head what the longest play was. Ash throws over the middle, deflected in the air, nearly intercepted, and might be unnecessary roughness as well, as Rudy Shutley was nearly defenseless and hit by the defender. And I appreciate, I don't know who that was for the Royals. Hold on, I need to check this. Give me 1 second. It was Johnny Jaffe. Johnny Jaffe tapped the defender, who was happy about the defensive play they made to let him know there was a flag on the play. Look, it's anything to get the competitive juices flowing.
Yeah,
at this stage of where we're at.
We've said it all night. Any port in a storm, I'll take it. And sometimes, even in a game like this, a little bit of humor goes a long way for a team. You realize the score's 41-0. No one has to tell you that. But here's the thing, though, too. That's still lower than the last two games as far as points allowed. So we're making the right direction. We're going in the right direction on defense.
That is true. 3 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Ash in the gun on 1st and 10. Brandenburg is his tailback. 2-step drop. Fakes the screen. Pocket collapses. He'll run, and he's sandwiched and hit hard after a gain of 1. Ash, though, give credit to him, quickly back to his feet. 2nd down and 9.
Definitely got crunched right there, so it's good to see him pop up. That's always good.
Yes. That's the other area we're at from talking about East Central pulling their starters. For Roncalli, you're not wanting any unnecessary injuries here with 5 minutes to play.
That's true.
2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Ash in the gun. Hard count once. Now takes the snap. Has Brandenburg on a screen. Instead, he'll step up in the pocket. Looking, fires over the middle. Open receiver. Caught Shutley at the 40 to the 35. A nice sling by Colin Ash. Moves those chains for the Royals.
That's going to be close to the second biggest play probably for the day. I mean, it's a nice pass. String a couple of those together, we're in business.
Ash looks over to the sideline. Those on the YouTube audience, get a look at that replay. Just a nice dart there by Colin Ash. Good route by Rudy Shutley. 4:25 to play in this fourth quarter. Royals looking for their first scoring drive of the ball game. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash looking left the whole way, fires over the middle. It's broken up. Broken up by Carson Pazonka.
I don't know if he saw Pazonka or not, and Pazonka looks like he's down. He's going to limp off the field over there, I think.
There's a flag. It's a holding on the defense.
We will take it.
Take it anywhere you can. Again, at this point, and you're just looking for something in terms of what's at stake right now. Roncalli, and you give credit to Rob Brown, you give credit to anybody that's had a role, Rick Dias as well, Chris Strykowski, anybody that's had a role in the history books, but this has been researched as well by Matt Heinekamp. The Royals have never been shut out in 3 straight games. 1st and 10 to the 25. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ash sends a man in motion. Play action. Looking left. Had a wheel route for Elsner, and he's sacked. I say had a wheel route because that's the route that Elsner was running. It would have been the choice route there, but it was well covered. Ash wisely decided to pocket it, but instead eats a 4-yard loss. 2nd and 14. Clock continues to run. 3:05 to play in the game.
That running clock really gets you from up here in the press box because you're not expecting when you look down. I've already lost 2 minutes on basically a play and a half.
Yep. It's like a Benjamin Button-like syndrome for you there. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash rolling left. Pressure comes. Screen out left. Hits the dirt first. Incomplete. 3rd down.
And if they are trying to get a score on the board here before the end of the game, they certainly don't show it. Everybody's walking back the line.
I mean, you're looking for something from a momentum standpoint to give yourself
energy
going into sectional. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you're looking at right now. It's just trying to get something on the board.
As they will direct traffic from the sideline. Everything's called in from the sideline tonight, so I guess you're not in any hurry until they call the play.
2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Ash in the gun. 2:10 to play in this ball game. 41-0 East Central. 3rd and 14 from the East Central 29. Ash stays in the pocket, stands tall, has Elsner, and he lost it with good coverage. It's a tough ball, back shoulder. Elsner tried to gather but could not. It's 4th down. Royals obviously go for it here. There's nothing else to play for.
They're going to probably be able to run out the clock almost.
I mean, they obviously will have to run this play.
Right.
But
the
in
clock's
terms
still
of
going to be running.
in terms of where, in terms of where things are at, though, East Central, this is it. This is your trying to get points drive. This is the last lifeline of that drive. 3-step drop, pressure's there. They bring a full house blitz. Ash avoids it, throws deep downfield, has a man wide open, touchdown Royals.
Let's go.
And the Royals will not join infamy. It was a jailbreak blitz by East Central. Colin Ash got away from the pressure, kept his eyes downfield, and finds James Guthrie for the first touchdown in 3 weeks for the Royals.
How do you feel?
I feel electric.
Good. I'm glad.
Thank you.
I was worried about you.
Thank you.
And this has definitely brought a smile
I appreciate
to your
that.
face.
Thank you.
A little pep in your step already.
I'm going to skip all the way to the car. Good snap. Good hold. The PAT is good. And again, I know coaching staff doesn't know it. Players don't know it. But again, you're talking about schools founded in 1969. Many a talented program have come through here. There's been some down years, sure, as well. No program had been shut out 3 straight games, and that stretch continues as the Royals are able to find points with 44 seconds to play. And I'll say this as well. Like, obviously, some might say, like, oh, like, haha, like, that's great. No, it matters for a number of different reasons, not just from a confidence standpoint. For Colin Ash, week 1, that's a sack.
Oh, absolutely.
But he's able to get his legs going. He's able to run all the way downfield, keep his eyes downfield, rather, as he's running with 4 Trojans breathing down his neck, evade them, get his feet set, and throw a strike to James Guthrie. A woo from the Heinekamps on the score recap. 10 plays, 92 yards, 8 minutes, 48 seconds, capped off by the 29-yard touchdown strike from Ash to Guthrie.
It was probably a happier woo. It wasn't a woo. It was probably like a woo, you know?
Woo!
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Want to bring Ric Flair out here? I
Go
can't.
ahead and clip that. Okay, we'll have that for later.
I want the woo there anytime. Let's at it. Levi Whistler set to kick it away. I had forgotten our touchdown song. Glad it's still bang on the drum. An ode to what the Colts used to do, which was stolen from the Packers. I understand that's an appreciative nod to you as the Packers fan in the booth.
Go Packers owner. A Packers owner.
You know, Haley, my wife, is also a Packers fan, and I bought her one of those for Christmas last year. She's a shareholder as well.
Well, I love having, the husband of a fellow owner.
There you go.
Yeah, in the booth.
Exactly. Have you ever gone to one of those shareholder meetings?
I always say I'm going to do it, and I've never done it. They're in the summer. They mail you out.
We got them this past. We didn't go, but I've always wanted to ask somebody.
There's 20, 30,000 people that show up to that.
The kickoff has occurred, and that'll be the final play of the game. As we mentioned, it was a touchback, and that will end things. So again, it's all East Central tonight. It's 41-7 your final, but it should be noted there was at least something to hang the hat on post-game, a scoring drive to hopefully carry the way for you heading into the postseason. And that does matter.
Goal. That was our goal in the second half. We talked about that
yes.
in general. If you have nothing to hold your hat on going into the sectional, then you're not going to play well. You're not going to look well. And now I think there's something to play for, or it feels like there is anyway.
It gives you at least something to hang the hat on and at least some type of feel-good vibes for you as you head into the postseason. Your final score, East Central 41, Roncalli 7. Indy Teledata postgame show is around the corner. We'll step out for 3 minutes and be right back on the Roncalli.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your Spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Meet Zach. Zach rides everywhere, day and night, rain or shine. At Indiana Members Credit Union, we know Zach. We know he's been saving up for a car. We're here to help Zach and you. Now get pre-approved for auto financing as low as 3.49% APR. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters. Rates subject to credit approval and valid on purchase of 2020 or newer vehicles. Learn more at imcu.com.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
The Indy Teledata postgame show is on. 41-7, East Central takes care of business with Aaron Hummel. I am Jimmy Cook. Let's take a look at the full game numbers. Aaron, what jumps out at you the most when you look back at both sides from a schematic standpoint as well as from a stat standpoint?
Well, I just want to share a fun Madden stat for you because we were talking about that afterwards.
Yep.
So Roncalli does win the fourth quarter and got that score to help your mental health, which we really needed.
Sure.
I think that's important on the stat line.
Yep.
But no, we joked about it at halftime about, and I'm going to get back to your question about who might be the player of the game. We talked about, Levi Whistler was having a heck of a ball game.
By the way, I don't want to undercut this, but that's segment 2, so don't give that away yet.
Okay, I'm not going to.
Okay, all right.
But I was just going to say that there are some contenders now there because of the fourth quarter.
I would agree.
So we will we'll have to see how that goes in the second segment.
And beautiful tease built for you by Aaron Hummel. I applaud you.
And that was the longest completion of the day, too, to end the ball game. 29 yards in that pass. Really had some nice big gainers right there at the end. I don't know if that's necessarily because they had some backups in or we were just trying to score at the end, but that was something I thought you can take into next week. Take into Shortridge, okay? Well, take back to here because we're playing here.
Yep.
But you really can grow on a little bit. As far as other stats that I saw tonight that I thought were important, I think Roncalli finally getting over that century mark in total yards for the game. That's another important benchmark. You need to have at least 100 yards total.
Yep.
Like that, you have to. And to be able to be at 121 after being, I think, at like 24, 28, something like that at halftime, it's good to see Roncalli get back into it, even with a running clock, and put points on the board.
We're going to take our first and only break here on the halftime show presented by Indy Teledata. When we come back, we will have a look at the Indianapolis Fruit Player of the game, as well as a look ahead to next week's sectional opening round matchup that'll take place right back here in the friendly confines of Bob Tully Field when the Royals welcome in Shortridge. And our final in this one, East Central wins 41-7. Final Indy Teledata postgame show when we come back in 2 minutes on the Roncalli Media Network.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now, when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Meet Zach. Zach rides everywhere, day and night, rain or shine. At Indiana Members Credit Union, we know Zach. We know he's been saving up for a car. We're here to help Zach and you. Now get pre-approved for auto financing as low as 3.49% APR. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters. Rates subject to credit approval and valid on purchase of 2020 or newer vehicles. Learn more at imcu.com.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Welcome back for the final time from Bob Tully Field. East Central victorious 41-7 over your Royals. Now time for the mainstay of our Indy Television postgame show, the Indianapolis Fruit Player of the Game. Again, Aaron, since you're what's your official title? Director of Alumni Affairs? Is that
That's close.
too fancy, or is that?
I'm the Director of Alumni Services and Corporate Relations.
Okay, so in other words, you have conversations at times with a number of different people, but including sponsors of the Roncalli Media Network, do you not?
I do.
Okay, well, this is my elevator pitch for you. You've heard it because I know you've listened to the broadcast, but I'll throw it for you again. Indianapolis Fruit is a sponsor. We have a Player of the Game award we give out every game, an Indianapolis fruit basket to the Player of the Game.
We will see what we can do.
I'm telling you, it'd be great.
Well, and we've got lots of options right now with who could be the actual player of the game.
Correct.
Okay. So at halftime, I said the leader in the clubhouse was
after 36 holes, Levi Whistler was.
I mean, he had a 5-stroke lead. Okay.
Yeah, he was the clubhouse leader.
And I'm going to give an honorable mention tonight, okay, to Colin Ash. 11-19, 69 yards through the air with that long 29-yard pass.
Yep.
Touchdown. He did have one interception, but he's an honorable mention only because Levi Whistler's total package of his game, whether it be kicking for punts or he also scored tonight with an extra point, that's going to bump him up. He's going to be my Indy Fruit Player of the Game, Levi Whistler.
I love it. Levi Whistler, victorious in the awards department, taking home the Indianapolis Fruit Player of the Game and the pending Indianapolis Fruit basket that we'll have to try to negotiate with Indianapolis Fruit in the offseason. Well, up next for the Royals, you can throw everything that happened the last 9 weeks in the trash can, as Aaron Hummel does so symbolically to my right, because the second season is upon us. Postseason has arrived. The draw occurred last weekend. The Royals start things off with a home contest against Shortridge.
The Blue Devils.
Indeed, the Blue Devils of Shortridge, in what should be, at least on paper when you're looking at things, and it's never a paper tournament, but a great opportunity for Roncalli to get a victory back into their columns and start the momentum churning towards a deep postseason run I know you won't be along for that, but again, you talk about a get-right game. In theory, that would be it.
Right. If this was on paper, of course, Kurt Vonnegut Jr. went to Shortridge. They might have the draw there, okay, when it comes to what we can write on paper. But when it comes to what's going to be on the field, I don't think they're going to have played anybody like us on their schedule, nor have they beaten anybody like us on their schedule. So I think Roncalli will have a tune-up there. But it's a mentality thing here.
Yeah.
You just came off of what essentially was 3 40-plus point games, okay, only scoring in one of those in the last 3. You've got to somehow, really rally the troops, circle the wagons, and put something on the field that's respectable. Because otherwise, you're going to be chasing going into playing possibly Mooresville, or is it Washington, I think?
Yes, Mooresville or Washington.
Mooresville or Washington. Probably going to be Mooresville. Don't want to say that out loud too early. But, that Shortridge game needs to be a statement game. It is, like you said, get-right game.
We talk about all the time where your mentality is as a team. This is the reality of it, of what the last 3 weeks have been. 126-7. That's been the last 3 weeks. Now, again, it has been, and Coach mentioned this on the pregame show, I would look at any other team across the state, and I would say it's the toughest 3-game stretch probably any team has faced all year, and you could honestly make it the toughest 4-game stretch with how powerful Burbuff is as an offensive unit. And this is now the time to bounce back and flush everything that just happened, learn from the bad, add on to the good, and take it to Shortridge next week.
And I'll have to look after the game tonight, what our strength of schedule is, but I know it's got to be much, much more improved than it was at the beginning of the season after this 3-game run. But Roncalli, I think it's such a win in a way to get that 7 points there at the end. It's a win mentally going into the next game.
That's the last thing that you should remember.
Oh,
as
on my
player.
stat sheet right here. It said last
and
scoring
both
play.
from your stat sheet, everybody involved. That's the last thing you remember from this game is you had a scoring drive that you put together. Again, I understand that's not where people want it to be. They would have loved to have beaten East Central tonight, but that is where the mentality should be is you put together a scoring drive, you build from that, you flush everything else, and you learn from it next week against the Blue Devils. Again, we'll have that one for you. It'll be a 7 o'clock start time, 6:45 pregame. If he's not wearing Mickey Mouse ears, we might not allow him into the booth, but Dan Locke will be back fresh off his trip from Disney World. We hope you'll join us as well. Aaron, I know we have you in sporadically within broadcast opportunities for the Roncalli Media Network. A lot of fall sports action for you as well. Potentially some more volleyball action too. Always good to have you back behind the mic, and a pleasure working with you tonight, my friend.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
The executive directors of the Roncalli Media Network, you just heard of one of them, Aaron Hommel, and of course the talented Therese Carson. The always on point director of video operations is AJ Ablong, director of stats, the great Matt Heinekamp, doing a wonderful job throughout the night as well. And, of course, for Aaron Hommel, I'm Jimmy Cook. Again, our final in this one, East Central takes care of business over the Royals. They defeat them 41-7. And until we talk to you next week, when the postseason begins and the Royals host Shortridge, so long, everybody.